Yep.
No, but
absolutely.
I love this because I think small business owners, we try to do all of these things at one time, right? Like instead of being strategic about it. Detailers Roadmap Cruise Control, where we navigate the roadways of life, business, and everything in between. All right, we are 100% live, so anybody that's been joining us so far, welcome. It is the Cruise Control Podcast, brought to you by Roadmap Sites / Detailers Roadmap / Chris's Playground. We are here with K-Dog, Chrissy D, and OG
G-Men.
G-Man, G-Money, Grant Menard.
Yeah. Minus the money. That's me.
Minus the money.
Terrible.
Honda Element, $4,700. We are going to have such a good time tonight because it's late kind of for all of us into the day, including you guys. So, hey, we're going to talk marketing today. Grant reached out to Chris and says, hey, I've been hanging out with Grant Cardone. I need to 10X my business. So instead of doing 10 jobs a week, I want to do 60 tent jobs a week. That was the conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So if you don't know who Grant Cardone is, he's first of all, he's way shorter than Grant Menard, way less good looking, and in my opinion, not as smart. But he has a great book called 10X, which is it's easier to 10X your business than 2X. So which is ironic because that's a whole nother book. But let's talk about how to do that, Chris. And then we'll get into the nitty gritty and Grant can tell us how the hell a shop can do that and what it looks like on the back end as well.
Well, I mean, I was first off super excited when you came with this idea, Grant, because you're like, I got to go from X amount of leads to another leads, right? And I think we'll walk through this. But first of all, I just want to give kudos to you because your mindset is way different than what other people have been saying. So I had two guys today like, hey, I had one guy today. He goes, I'm not happy with the lead volume on my site that I'm getting. This is a site that went up 2 months ago. And then you look into what the guy's doing. He's not Google business posting. He doesn't run ads. He doesn't social media post. He got 50 leads in a month. I can give you a quota if you think that he actually called those people more than once. And I kind of want to just start it out here is that, knowledge is power, right? For real. So the more knowledgeable you are in some of this marketing, and we're going to go through this as a live conversation. So it's not really a full presentation. It's really, how can we figure out Grant's problem? And I think at the end of the day, Grant has a business owner mindset. I think that's why Grant's always been super, super successful. He's taught other people how to be successful as well. It's because he doesn't have a technician mindset. So, Grant, can you kind of talk about what problem we're trying to solve really at the end of the day for you?
Yeah, of course. And this is the same problem we had in every department across the board throughout the business. So when the situation is with Window Tint specifically is that it was always outsourced. So we always outsourced departments. Even with paint protection film, we did the same thing. We outsourced departments until the sales and the market caught up with us to start flowing enough leads in to where we could bring somebody in full time. That's something that we do here is that every 3 to 6 months, we bring every single person in from the shop and say, are you still happy where you're at? It just so happened that end of last year, one of our guys, Felipe, who's our head tech in paint protection film, said, hey, I really want to get into window tint. We were outsourcing it till then. Now he's coming in doing it every Monday and Friday. But we have the opportunity to bring in one of the top window tint guys in our market that can basically, doing 60 cars in a week is something that's natural to him. So having that opportunity is why I reached out to say, okay, we have this opportunity to bring Felipe and now another tech in to basically unload window tint jobs out of this place. But it's a market that we never really went after because it was just part of that before. So it's something that we haven't done before. And that's why I reached out to you guys is how can we really fast track this to take it from 6 window tint jobs, which is still great. It's something that's keeping Felipe happy. It's something that's kept our prior third parties happy to date, but how can we take it from 6 to 8 leads? Not 6 to 8 leads, but 6 to 8
Converted people.
Yep, converted people a week, which now we're booked out a month on tint, which is tough to say, right? So it's too long, too far to tell people now they got to wait. So we're missing out on a ton of customers too. How can we take it from 6 to 8 and really elevate it to what our cap would be, which is about 60 converted jobs every single week. So that's basically how it was. I had this opportunities there. I always run off the sales space and specimen. I had the specimen in the space. Now I just need the sales to kind of catch up to that.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, and why I love it is you're already thinking, what do I got to do to fill the space of open jobs, open space, open bays, open employment? And that is totally 100% a business owner mindset versus not a technician mindset. You're already thinking like, I'm going to bring this guy in. How do we escalate that? And the reality is number one, and I love that your mindset is like, how can we solve this? Reality number one is just to have a website is not enough, right? It's just not filling the plate enough. You need more eyeballs, more leads, more conversations. To Kevin's point, 10x, right? How do we 10x this piece? So we can kind of skip this, but going back over again, my business owner mindset is I need a marketing strategy that can activate the past, the current, and future clients to have a constant lead flow for tint, versus a technician mindset is, which I got 2 phone calls today, I'm fucking slow. Like,
no shit.
You know, like I forget people go on school trips before this, you know, like, hey, August is a real thing. So in my mind, Grant has a victor mentality. He's going to either internalize some of these marketing efforts or he's going to outsource some of it, but you're not going to be a victim of it, right? You're not going to have a guy sitting around. So how I think the raw end of the deal is, how do we get to 60 leads, right? It's not 60 closed people, essentially. That's what we're really looking for. And so you're changing your mindset. You're going to go from reactive of like, shit, we're slow, to proactive, I'm going to go get it, right? And that is, I don't think enough people, especially in this time frame, and I'm sure Kevin has seen it too, is that 2024 is much different than 2021, where people were just showing up with money and just had it ready to go. So I think this year and next year, I think, is going to be a big change of reactive business owners versus proactive business owners.
And to that point, Grant, I know, and you can talk to this, it's not like just one day Philippe said, hey, I want a tent. All right, well, you have Monday and Friday. Well, now what do we do? Right? Like, you have very specific metrics in your shop to know when to go from third party to in-house, right? Like, can you, right. I just want you to talk to that briefly so that we can really understand what that means to be proactive. Because the reactive thing is like, oh crap, now I got this guy and now I got to fill Monday and Friday, right? Like but no, you want to not only fill Monday and Friday, you want to fill your shop.
Correct. And it's something that goes back to how long it took the team, including myself, to really become experienced enough in a department to be able to do a job efficiently. It wasn't like you got to do it quicker, but actually efficiently. So you understand that the first 6 to 8 months, even with window tint, sometimes even longer than a year, it's going to take a person about half the amount of time or double the amount of time to complete a job as it would that somebody's experienced. So instead of doing a job in an hour, it's going to take them 2 hours. So I was never looking at, when Felipe approached me, it was okay, how can I fill a potential 40 hours a week, but it's going to be 20 hours a week right now. That's going to take him 40 hours a week, knowing that the market I can then approach, or our team can focus on the window tint specifically over the next 6 months to 8 months to really catch up to that. So as he becomes more efficient, we're able to floor more jobs in per day. So for this, that's exactly what it was. And for us at the shop, Felipe is not able to move over to be full-time tint until we have a replacement for him in paint protection film. So we just moved a guy over there, Christian, about 2 months ago. Christian's been over there training. We know that he's got about 4 months left before he's up to speed. And then about 8 to 10 months from now until he's actually up to Felipe's level. No one can ever become Felipe's level, but damn close enough where he's able to push enough jobs through to replace Felipe, because that department's 40 hours a week, 5 guys now. Now, how can we also reproduce that in window tint? So that's always been
How's,
my mindset. Yeah. It's
how's
never been,
that for proactiveness? That's ridiculous. You're already ahead of the current load. You're already pre-thinking past your original guy's stuff. I mean, that's the proactive thing I've ever seen. Good Lord.
yeah. And the
So,
reason behind that too, Chris and Kevin, is that we have a great sales team here too. So like all I got to do is tell Mike, hey man, like I'm unleashing Window Tint for you. Go and close another 700-800 grand this year. He's commission based. Like he loves, commission salary. He loves it. I just opened up another 40-50 grand for him to produce, next year or even later this year too. So the sales team loves it. They get fired up. We're bringing in now 2 guys potentially to take over the window tint, do 60 jobs a week, averaging $300-400 a job. PPF's going to be filled up with a new person over there. That department's still going to be unloading. So I never like people to be overworked, especially when they start passing that 40 hours a week, like to 45 hours a week. I'm talking an extra hour a day. We always look for the next position because we know it's going to take them 6 to 8 months to get trained. And kind of how our sales structure moves forward is that we're already ahead of the curve so that we're not overbooking people and burning them out 6 to 8 months down the line and then chasing to find somebody to try to train them. We try to do it now. And yeah, sure, we take a loss. Like, yeah, we got to pay somebody their salary for the next 6 to 8 months. But there's such an upside to that once they're trained and ready to go. And that's why we keep people here, because we don't burn them out. And that's kind of the structure and the focus that I've put to now into this department, which was kind of just put aside. I was like, we're never going to be window tint people. But obviously the market's kind of showing that tint is a massive market. And
tint is huge.
huge. And 3,000 jobs a year sounds like a lot, but in reality, it's one of the lowest entries into our shop, adding window tint that almost every single person needs, especially when they buy a brand new car, that then provides for upsell opportunities to then sell them, hey, you're coming in for window tint. It's a brand new car. We know that. We'll wait till you get here. We'll walk you around the shop. We'll show you all the cars that are being coded and PPF'd. And then we have the opportunity to upsell them from a $300 or $600 window tint job into a $5,000, $7,000, $10,000, $12,000 PPF and coding job.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, that's such a huge upsell opportunity. It's ridiculous.
Tint kind of snuck up on us a little bit, like, because, you think about 10 years ago what the vehicles look like, tons of pillars. Now it's freaking glass everywhere, including the roof, right? Like my Grand Cherokee is just glass everywhere. So you get a lot hotter. And so that drives that market even more. It's nuts.
Yep.
Yeah. And for this, I'm not going to talk about all the things of like what type of marketing should you say in every single ad, what type of assets you need. I'm kind of going to go through how to get to these 60 leads, but I'm going to assume that you have somebody who can help out on creative. If you need video, if you have a website, if you know that your target demographic is 55, that you shouldn't be singing a 129 tint special, stuff like that. So I'm not going to go through every demographic brand positioning stuff, but this is kind of some basics that we kind of assume when you're doing marketing, that you kind of have some fundamental understanding that if you're offering a $600 ceramic job, you're probably not going to run a $99 tint special and wonder why you're not selling 600 tint jobs all the time. And your brand kind of MOs as higher end anyways. If anybody's just watching this, here's Cruise Control and detailersroadmap.com and detailing shirts. And also Grant is from Urable as well. So he will be able to activate a lot of these marketing channels as well with his software, which really is kind of a full piece nod.
Can I speak to that real quick, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely.
So with the proposals, we send out a ton of proposals, and within Urable, you have add-ons right on the bottom. It's a simple toggle over. So for us, knowing that we have a brand new car, I mean, that's what our whole market is right now. We're typically brand new cars within the last, 2021 or 2022 to 2024. So it's really easy for us to just at the bottom of each proposal, just add in a 199 front two because we know the car, or a 400, or if we know they're going for a $10,000 package, what's an extra $1,500 tint job? It's just something that we never had the ability to do before because we only did it on 1 or 2 days. So when, for efficiencies of the shop or for having a car sit there for an extra couple of days, it never worked out. So bringing tint in full house for all the cars that are already flowing in with Urable, all it can do is just add it on to the add-on section. People just toggle it over without even thinking. An extra, 5% on a job isn't going to make or break the bank. And we're a one-stop shop then too. So we're providing them with something that realistically they had to go somewhere else to get.
I love that you can upsell through the software as well as upsell into a dead space item, right? Like what is 5-10% off if it's going to sit here regardless? I guess what I can always come down to with marketing is like, if you look at me, Kevin, and Grant, basically Kevin is where me and Grant want to be. I'm at the start of my weight loss journey. Grant is basically almost there. He's trying to get that last 10%, and he's trying to get to Kevin. And I always say that's basically a holistic way to kind of go at.
Like you, Kevin.
Kevin will never have those pecs.
It must be cold in your office.
So I always say marketing is not an eggs all in one basket. I don't think any of us here believes that the website was the answer. The SEO was the answer. The CRM was the answer. The sales guy was the answer. It's a holistic thing. Are you doing not everything, but are you combining a few things to make your lead flow consistent and constant? And I think a lot of technicians, a lot of business-minded people or technician-minded people think they got to do everything. And I'm going to break down why that's not necessarily true. I'm going to throw a lot of shit at the wall, but we're going to actually cherry pick what's going to work best for Grant.
Because you don't want to do everything. You want to do the right things.
Yep. And every business is different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the real world challenge Grant presented. I'm adding tint to my business. We do roughly 15 cards a week. I need 60 to 70 a week. So I need a 366% increase in basically converted customers, right?
Easy.
Obvious. Well, yeah, easy. No problem. Just go ahead and hit that Staples easy button and we'll get there. So there's a couple assumptions. Assumptions is this is an established business. You roughly have around 200,000 population in a 10-mile radius, right? You can't really sell 360 jobs per month if you have 1,000 cars. So you have to, there's some assumptions here that are coming in. And, I don't know if you'll get to 60 leads a week if you are a town of 2,000. Let's just kind of lay it out there. And that's why we tell people sometimes SEO is not a fit or ads is not a fit, right? Your marketing spend, here's the biggest one is, and I kind of put it right in the middle, is we're assuming your marketing spend is going to get reinserted into your pricing. So if Grant finds out that to get to this 300% increase, are we in, let's say the net customer is going to cost us $35 or $40. We need to put that pricing back into our tint jobs so it doesn't actually cost Grant money. Okay, that's super important. A lot of people miss that one. And then we're assuming there's a sales process. We assume there is a timely lead response. If someone's not timely and we're going to increase this volume this much, you really kind of have to have a sales process in place. And we know Grant has that with his team. And then you have an asset, which is a website, right? Or landing pages. So this is, I'll just kind of dumb this out. And by any means, if you guys have questions, stop me. Because if you have questions, I guarantee you 30 other people do. So this is a quadrant. The quadrant it's called a lead to conversion rate and then a cost of acquisition. So on the bottom left of the quadrant means it's very expensive to go get that lead. On the top left of that quadrant, that means it's very cheap to get that lead. Okay. On the top right, it means it's very cheap to get that lead and it converts very high. Okay. So top right is where you always want to be. There ain't a lot of those fucking guys running around, but there's a few, of those marketing pieces up there in that top right. There's a lot of stuff in that bottom left where it's super expensive and it converts low. And we're going to break this down. And I'm trying to make this so people don't fall asleep. But lead source matters. At the end of the day, you want as much high converting people as possible, right? You always want to talk, it's like past customers, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, fucking Grant's got to talk to, give or take 300 more people. That's a lot. That's a shit ton of people. He's got to talk to close 300 more people. That's a trip, dude. That is a lot of leads. So which really means you got to talk to 1,000.
I ain't talking to any of them.
Yeah, let's be honest. That ain't him that's talking to those customers.
Man.
Grant, do you know what? Just while we're on that topic, what's your sales guy's conversion rate? Do you know?
Mikey, I mean, he's called Millionaire Mikey for a reason. But the dude's an absolute savage. If you don't say yes, he'll show up at your front door. So
to close those 300, is he at 30%? Does he have to talk to 1,000 people, 2,000 people?
We don't run ads. So we've never run ads before. We have the leads that are coming through. We're a referral-based business. So
they converted 100% already, basically.
Damn close. Yeah. We're damn close. So I don't know, because Mike hits his numbers every single week. So it's never, the shop is always full.
So we're going to break that down too.
Yeah, I've never had to think about it, but there is a situation here at hand, and I've talked to the team, right? Because you got to bring your management in. It wasn't like I just called you guys before having a conversation with my top people. So I brought Jim and Mike, and I said, here's the opportunity in hand. Here's kind of where the market's going. Here's how we can bring revenues up. You want a revenue increase of 20, 30% a year. Where we're at, that's what we're going for. And how can we do that when we're already maxed out in every single department? Well, you got to bring something else in. Or you build another shop, which building another shop is hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So we have the space, we have the specimen to do it. We just need the sales to come in. With that, Mike, we need another salesperson. So Mike already manages 2,000 people a year as it is, or a little under that, like 1,800 cars he's closing a year currently across the departments. There's no chance in hell that he's going to be able now to go and take on another 3,000. So we had to bring in another sales personnel for this. To manage all the leads that are coming through specifically for Window Tint.
And there's going to be a line. I don't know if you could probably talk to it, how proactive you get with that sales call, but I'm assuming Grant wants to be in a situation where it's like, we're just getting too many conversations. We're not following back up with them. So we'd like to present him with that problem. So here's kind of the MO. These are generalities. Okay. So this is like generalities of conversions. This does not mean for Grant that it's true necessarily in his area, but if you run an ad on Google, you're roughly going to close between 8 and 15%, not 13. I know I wrote 13, but you're going to close 15%. Not fucking fantastic. Let's be honest. But it can potentially get you in quicker. Facebook ads is 2.5 to 11. Okay. So that means you got to talk to 100 people and you're going to at best close 10. Fuck.
That's shit.
So, but we need to generate this volume. So what am I going to say to Grant? Probably you can kind of see the writing on the wall. Referrals, you're going to close around 75 to 81, right? Hey, we offer tint. I know you came in asking about PPF and tint and you were curious. They've already done business with you. You're probably going to close around 3/4 and above. Organic search, if you probably really pull from the website and analyze that, you're probably closing around 66 to 77, right around there. It might be a tad higher, actually, depending if they're reading the site or if they're jerking around and they go right to the contact form without reading the package, right? So that is what's called a blended rate. So we see it. So if you're dumb like me and you like visuals, you need to talk to 100 people to get 15 sales. So that, like Grant's already like fucking hell.
I've sent Kevin 100 explicit photos and still haven't closed them. So I'm at 0% right now.
Because I need 15 good ones. That's the problem.
You forget I'm copy pasting it.
and organic visitors, if you sent Kevin a lot of organic, Kevin came to you asking for 100 photos.
Yeah, if I'm asking you for those photos, this is organic.
Organic corn.
This is kind of like an example of you're pushing your tint to people. This is your offering and pulling them to you. Does that kind of make sense? Like you're pushing your services, you're pulling them to you. They're already looking for you. Your natural question is always going to be, well, let me just stick all my money in the website and SEO. It's not an infinite lead source. Not everybody is looking for stuff online. Someone might be on Facebook. Someone might be on TikTok. Someone might be a referral from your other customers. So each source is not infinite. Otherwise, everybody would just stick their money into the website every single time. And that's just the reality. So here's where
That's
kind
what
of
we do currently.
roughly where you're at today, right?
Yep.
You're roughly doing a website and referral. And so you close around 75% right here out of the website.
Yep.
And this is like an all day milk the cow. We've talked to these people. This is probably, don't take this the wrong way, Grant. This is the industry as a whole as small business owners. Shit, it's even me to a point. You know, I'm running, you know, some ads and SEO, but for the most part, we ran off of websites and referrals. And the reality is 2024 is going to change this for a lot of people. Does this look about right of marketing channels that you're activating today?
100%.
Okay.
And I let me ask you a question. I assume that Mikey's going to start calling all your existing customers that have had PPF done, coatings done, or anything like that's the lowest hanging fruit.
Yeah, I think Chris will probably go
standpoint.
over that here maybe with emails and some things that we're definitely going to be reaching out to every customer.
Yeah.
And here's the other side of this too. Our sales team, Mikey currently has the ability to discount every job at 10%. So I give him the ability to discount something to get somebody to say yes up to 10%. It's already rolled into the cost, right? So this is going to be a phenomenal sales tactic because we could say, instead of saying, oh, we'll give you $1,000 off your $10,000 job, if that's what it really takes to bring somebody in, we can just throw in a $1,000 tint job or a $500 tint job and say, hey, what if we do your window tint for free?
That's
right? Or what if we did your full front?
Yeah.
What a great sales technique right there.
Yeah, it's a really simple, easy way. That's really, we all know the cost of tint is like the cost of detailing a car, ceramic coating a car, super low when it costs actual labor force to, and the profitability is extremely high. So for us, for a full front, what's it cost us? $30, $40. If that's what it's going to take, we're going to be way more profitable offering somebody free tint than we are going to say, oh, here's $1,000 off.
But to them, it's the same value. That's the thing.
Oh, 100%, if not more.
You know, it's $1,000 value to them and $100 cost to you.
Yeah, Mikey just closed the job today doing that. Because he's like, can I throw it? What can I do? Can I get? And I was like, dude, just throw a tint in. And that's exactly what he did. So he threw a ceramic tint job in. It's going to cost us $230 to do on the truck. And it just closed a $9,700 PPF job.
Yeah,
so
and
we're already working on it. Yeah.
And you could literally add right in here, probably upsell is sitting right up here, right? High conversion, lowish cost, right? In comparison to probably running leads through ads and stuff. And this is not a slam ad scenario. I want to be really clear. I'm actually going to push ads too. But upsell kind of sits up in this corner, right? High yield.
100%.
So we just need more bodies to talk to.
And that's the expectation, is to close 30% of the cars that are currently coming in on window tint. So that's already adding 600 of the 3,000 that we need to really keep. I mean, that's 3,000 max, right? So that's max capacity for that department. Until we need to hire. If it goes past it, we just hire somebody else. Obviously, it's experience, but that's at least the max capacity of what we're having. Yeah. So we already have an extra potential 600 cars that are coming in with the already 750. So we're almost halfway there. With the opportunity to bring in somebody in. Yeah.
Okay. Good problem to have. So here's what I consider. Here's just, and I'll show you the full end where your brain will fry and be like, I ain't fucking doing all this stuff. And I'm gonna show you kind of like the basic. Here's a basic package that I feel like everybody should do. Facebook ads, Google ads, email marketing. I'll be honest, I fucking do not like Facebook ads. I don't like them. I don't like the low close, but I do like the ability of awareness of, hey, I didn't even know they did tint. You know what I mean? Dang it, I was just in there last year. Or, oh, I've been going to some other guy that's 40 minutes away that I didn't know. In my mind, Facebook is very awareness based. And so I kind of color coded them as like push and pull a little bit. Oh, Jesus, get that SEO button out of there. But does this kind of make sense? Like you're going to close lower on Google ads compared to a referral, but it's going to cost a little bit more, but you're going to get way more eyeballs of Google ads than you are if talking to the 20 people who are in the shop for the day. So it's kind of like a give take. I mean, Kevin's a Google ad kind of maestro where he kind of knows a lot about this, but we just have to tell people we have this service, we have this product. And sometimes it takes 7, 8, 10 touches to kind of get there for a decision. And decision is not always yes.
Right. And the nice thing is it can be a low touch opportunity for exposure and sale, because you will have a percentage of those, even though the conversion's low. If your systems are correct and done well, they may close without Mikey ever talking to anybody. Like they may just book the appointment, right? Like that is a possibility depending on how your systems are.
And I want to speak of something, because I know people are going to reach out to me and be like, Grant, you hate ads. You've always talked about shit on ads, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here's the reality of it. Ads for PPF encodings, that's multi-$1,000 jobs. An ad is going to give nobody the trust in you and your facility to say, yeah, because of this ad, I'm going to move forward with the shop. That's the reality of it. A $200 tint job, totally different. Totally different here. At least I think so. I'm going to try it out, and I'm happy to do it because but I'm going to try it out. I'll do it again.
Very few people are hitting, the payment button on a $10,000 PPF job when they see it on Facebook. Like that just doesn't happen.
But I will say, to Grant's point, is Grant stuck all his time for all these years, and Mike and all those guys, he stuck tons and tons of time into the top right quadrant.
Right.
So he cold called people. He went into people. You'll see cold calls on here. If you were on episode 6 or 7, he talks about where he's like basically fucking door knocking on people.
Baby, come on.
And the handwritten notes.
You'll see it on the list. It's on here. So, and to point of like email marketing, this on average right here is about $10,000 a month on a $1 million business. That's the average that you're missing, is about 120 grand a year if you don't email twice a month. And I'm going to show you how to make great emails with ChatGPT in 30 seconds. Okay. So this is stuff you can add right away.
I've also sent Evan a lot of handwritten notes, love letters, and I've never received one back. It's like I'm in jail and they keep stopping his letters from coming in the mailbox.
There's an Elvis song called Return to Sender.
Organic SEO is the next one. Organic SEO is to get window tint. I'll be honest, I don't love SEO for this scenario up front, because it will suck some money out of the business that really isn't going to pay off for 6 months plus.
Well, when's the right time to do that then, Chris? Because obviously there's a time for SEO, right?
Yeah, I mean, and we'll come up with a budget and I'll show you. And that's if the business is truly in like, hey, I got a tint guy starting next week and I need 60 leads next week. This is not the answer.
Okay.
This is the answer, probably 6 months from now, maybe we start it if we get some money in the door. I call it like a reinvestment stage, if that makes sense. It's definitely one of the highest conversion rates because it's a pull method, right? Window tint, Philadelphia, I'm at the top of Google. They're looking for me. It's definitely a high conversion rate, but it's expensive. It's not cheap. It's a lot of labor. Now you start seeing where it's getting a little crazy, right? Like TV and print. I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm a fan of radio for Republican radio. I'm a huge fan for radio, Republican stuff. For some reason, seems to draw that 55-year-old Corvette owner who wants to spend money. These are additional pieces. And this is what I would consider a pretty heavy budget, but it does accomplish a lot. I just don't love TV and print, if I'm being honest. But you can see where the cost is so high and the conversion is so low. And I think that might even be generous for print, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And TV is the worst. It's the most expensive, and it tends to be your lowest conversion because you're really Super Bowl adding your area. So, mom who wants to just have something on TV is going to get slammed with a tint ad. It doesn't really make sense. It's targeting marketing is not working.
Are you, Chris, can I ask you, are you talking OTT stuff too, like Hulu and Amazon and all that stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question. OTT is over the top. That typically falls into this like Facebook, Google ads stuff. Whereas
you're talking about traditional broadcast TV when we're talking about TV.
Like a true, like, yeah. So you're talking OTT is like a video ad, which tends to be really great. it tends to fall right in here into this kind of Google ad, Facebook ad category. All right. And then it goes even further, right? And this is pretty much where I stop, where it's like anything more than this and you're going to blow up. This is everything. And it's just not possible to do all of this, right? So
that looks like my week. I'm just launching a new product, Chris. That's right. That's my brain right now. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean,
Kevin, tell us more about it. Drop it down.
No.
yeah,
For $7,000 a month or $7,000 a day, $7,000 an hour, each minute, Kevin can do this for you.
Hey, you know that little thing on your phone when you search and you say business near me? Well, people aren't finding you when they search for ceramic coating near me, detailing near me, tint shop near me, PPF shop near me. They're not finding you as well as they should, or they're not finding you in the areas that you'd like to. Detailer's Roadmap has a solution. I want to introduce our new Google Business and Maps Accelerator. We have got this great new program that not only gives you an opportunity to do some search engine optimization, SEO, but in a very specific way that is designed to be map friendly, Google business friendly, and in order to get you more leads in areas that you're currently in and areas that you also want to target that may be slightly out of your own area. So go to detailersroadmap.com, use that little schedule a demo button at the top and tell them in that form that you want to do the Google Business and Maps Accelerator program. Take a look at that. It's very cost effective and a very entry level price, and it's awesome.
Yep.
No,
absolutely.
but I love this because I think small business owners, we try to do all of these things at one time, right? Like instead of being strategic about it.
And the real question is how many of them are actually doing any of these beyond 2 or 3.
And I'm looking at this, Chris, and I'm happy you put this together too, because it really gives a good outlook on what we do and what we've done since day one and why we've had such expansive growth so quickly. Is because the whole right side of this, like legitimately down the line, is exactly what we focus on year over year.
Mm-hmm.
So the right side of the left side of this, social media is there. We'll add that over to it, obviously.
Yeah.
The left side of it, social media is just there to support it. It's not there as a sales tactic. So it's cool. It's really cool to see this out on this chart you have here, because the whole right side of that line, outside of social media, obviously you could drag that across, is exactly what every day.
And it tends to be the pull, right?
Yep.
You're going to shake a hand in every one of these scenarios almost, if that makes sense. That's your first interaction is a shake hand. And that's why the conversion tends to be high, right? Person to person, pull, pieces like that. Grant did this basically. It says outbound call, but basically you door knocked, and you did this kind of piece. The one that probably everybody sleeps on that nobody is doing, even, and I'm going to bash the ad guys, they don't do retargeting from your current site. So that means somebody visited your site and then literally 13 different styles of ads across different sizes on CNN or CNET or whatever follow you until you fucking come back, right? These are dirt cheap to get into. That how many times have we looked at something online and a phone call came in and you forgot what you were looking at, and then the ad serves you 17 more times on Facebook? I mean, I know it's been peck treatments for Kevin clearly, but Yeti cups for me and stuff like that. But those retargeting ads are super powerful. Somewhere you've been to the website and now something chases you back.
And they're dirt, like you said, they're dirt cheap, even on Facebook, right? Those Facebook ads, like I think we spend like $10 a day on most of our retargeting ads. And it's like, dude, and they convert like crazy.
Super high.
How does one set up a retargeting?
We could probably have like Hunter on, but basically what you do is you put in a Google ad or a Facebook pixel typically, and that triggers of say, hey, Joe Blow has been on Menard Premium Detailing, and now we're going to serve him one of these 13 ads based on wherever website he looks at, or ad networks or stuff like that.
And one more piece to that, Chris, and we don't want to get too far down this rabbit hole, but Grant, you can actually create targeting in Facebook given your existing customer base.
Oh, cool.
Like you can upload that. You upload your entire email list and it will create targets based on that. It's called a lookalike audience, but it creates those lookalike audiences. And that's
Yeah, you can target the current customer base or the lookalike versions of them.
Yeah.
And thanks to You're Able, you can just click an export button. Next thing
Hell yeah. Can you imagine trying to like pull an email list nowadays? Like, oh man.
I have mine in a yellow legal pad.
Which we do have to speak about, because there's and this is one of the biggest issues that we see, and that was good, Kev. Is that there's so many businesses that get the name and the number, but don't get their address and their email, and how massively important it is to just ask. Like, don't be afraid to ask. And if somebody said, the amount of people that say no to that is so minuscule compared to the amount of people that are happily or will willingly give you their email and their home address, which is important because, one, for the actual door knocking or for actual mailers and print. And the other side of it too is going out there for the email side of it and having that, and their telephone number too. So
yeah, and you said,
I
mean, you said what? You're roughly selling to 1,000-ish people per year, give or take.
Yeah, I mean, but they'll have to come back with the people that are bringing us multiple vehicles. I'd say a little bit more. Yeah, 1,300 to 1,500 a year. Yep.
So, and if you've been in business for 4 years, you got a list of 5,000 people that we can tap
with comebacks. Yeah, we have 3,800 currently with people. Okay. A 3-year conversion for people to
and notice how he knows his numbers. Wonder why.
Weird.
So, real world problem again. We're just coming back to it. Fine. I showed you a big list that everybody fell asleep at. We're coming back to the real world problem. How do we go from 15 to 60? So, pulling those conversion ratios, what are we willing to do? So here is how to find out what is window tinting near me, car window tinting near me in the Philadelphia area. It's going to cost him between $1 and $4 per click to get in. Okay. Sure. If you're wondering how to get to this, you can just go look up ad estimator on Google Ads and it'll pull it for you. So we know we're going to spend $4 a click right there. That's a flat line right there. So if you're $4 a click and you're 400 clicks, you're $1,600. It's 400. So, and we know the conversion is around, give or take, 15%. So that's close to about 60 deals. So 1,600 is going to get us close to $9,000, $9,000 to $15,000. Probably more.
Average cost per job, do you remember? It was like $313 or something like that.
You did give that to me, and that's exactly what I used. I took an average cost per job, and I times it by basically 35 in here, and then 60. So, and I talked to a couple of the ad guys before I got this, and I showed them the slide, and they said typically they're going to usually scale you up week by week. So they might start you at 800 or 1,000. See what happens. Then do we step up? And not to slam ad guys, but they're always going to say this, like, well, if it's working, just keep jamming, and that you're going to say the exact same thing, right?
Yep.
But they don't want to usually spend $4,000 a week unless it's working. So we know some kind of costs. Here's a great one. I don't want to bore anyone, but I told you you're going to sleep on $10,000 a month without spending a penny. That should be a huge alarm. So I'm not going to bore anyone, but I want people to see what I did. This is kind of like a medium-term goal that you can have your team or someone like Roadmap kind of develop a marketing plan for email. And I said to ChatGPT, you're an email marketing specialist. You work for Menards Premium Detailing. This business offers XYZ. Now, keep in mind, I know we're going after tint, but hear me out. Watch this. Please confirm you understand. I stopped the prompt right there. Understand you're a marketing specialist and you work for this company. Yep, I got it. And then I suggested to ChatGPT, I'm looking for high open rates as your main metric. You're creating email subject lines only for this moment. Please tailor the subject lines for current and potential customers. 1 out of 6 subject lines, this is really key, should be sales or offer oriented. It cannot be offer. You'll fucking bury your brand down to the ground. It's got to be education or what we're doing in the shop or, hey, we're doing this. And then a 6th one, hey, we've got something going on for tint this week. It cannot be offer. If there's a certain company that used to run chairs, used to sell detailing chairs in the industry, and they used to run a sale every freaking week. And then when they didn't run a sale, did you notice that like they basically didn't sell chairs?
It's like Macy's one-day sale that happens every weekend.
Yep. So I really want to nail that down as like you cannot offer. A lot of times people think email marketing has to be an offer. No, a lot of times what's going to happen is he's going to email about PPF, window tint, and ceramic coating, and someone's going to come in probably not for one of those three things and say, oh yeah, you're just top of mind again.
Mm-hmm.
So top of mind is so important. The balance should be informative, educational, or open engagement, pushing for the email list. Do you understand? And it said yes. And here's what it kicked out. 5 quick tips to keep your car looking new all year. Why window tint is a must for summer driving. Discover the benefits of ceramic coating for your vehicle. Customer spotlight. I fucking love that one. I thought that one was pretty cool. The ultimate guide to paint protection film. And then 6, limited time offer, 20% off your next detailing. I probably would swap that out for tint service. You'll be surprised that a lot of times you'll say something about ultimate guide for paint protection film, and they'll call you for tint or ceramic coating just because you're top of mind again. And then I had it create 20 more subject lines after that. And then you can actually say, after that, write all the content now for each one of those subject lines. And now I've created you 24 emails over the next year that you're probably missing around $10,000 a month. That's the average right now. If you have $1 million business, you can add about 120 grand emailing twice a month. You're going to lose. And Grant, I think you even said it on a call. You're like, oh man, I lost a lot of subscribers like right away. But it's because one, you weren't doing it before. So it's okay. Just kind of remember that. And also if they really don't want your information, that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, let it be. Kevin does a lot of email marketing, and you have to understand if you're losing 7 to 10 people every time you email, or 20 to 30, that to me, that means I'm just dealing with, hold on. That means I'm dealing, the dogs are going nuts. That means I'm really activating 2,800 people that want to hear from me. It's okay that they want to leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because the old saying is, I'd rather have 100 fully engaged people than 1,000 not engaged people, right? Like that's the big, kind of what you want to focus on. So I would expect unsubscribes all the time. I mean, we've got 18,000 people on one of my email lists, and every time we send something out, a bunch of people unsubscribe. So it's really not that big a deal.
It's scary, but it's okay.
Well, you feel personally rejected is what it is.
You do feel personally rejected.
Just like my love letters, Kevin.
Return to sender.
We're almost at the end here. So I don't know if this one will let me click. It will. Okay. So I pulled your local SEO rank.
Oh, God.
So this is your Google business ranking for if people search window tint. You, of course.
Wait, that guy does 24-hour window tint? So I don't look at competitors and never have. This is actually interesting to me because I don't know who tints around us. So it's actually pretty interesting to me. The guy can window tint for 20.
Is there a lot of shift workers in your area?
It's a great question.
Potentially.
I don't know. Yeah.
So here's where your physical business is right here. Yep. Right in the middle. So if you search at your shop, I always hear this. I pop up super high for window tint, ceramic coating, PPF. Yeah, you do. But what about down where the money is, or up here where there's some nicer areas? This is your physical
accelerator.
This is your physical ranking for every single person that's searching window tint near me. So you're in the 4th spot 1 mile away. You're in the 5th spot 3 miles away. You're in the 8th spot 4 miles away. You're in the 12th. Now, this is not surprising. Tint has not been a major part of his business. Okay. So don't slam Grant right off the bat, for God's sakes. But this is kind of, and just be honest, business owners hate seeing this map. They hate seeing that they're not ones and twos across the board. But this is fairly cheap to fix, to be honest. This is around $500 a month, essentially, to kind of really wipe these reds and oranges off and get into the greens. This is called local SEO. And if you compare it to like Rick's 24-hour tint, which is wild, this is where he ranks.
I kind of want to hire that guy. Maybe I'll just outsource to him.
There you go. We might have just found a new avenue here. So that is something you can kind of fix short term and medium term. I bet you that's going to get you a lot more phone call volume being at the top of that entire area. So this is kind of a realistic, what we think is a rough, realistic, holistic campaign for Grant. Is Google, Facebook, retargeting ads, get him some of that awareness piece. Google business optimization, that's the piece I just showed you. Email newsletter, you don't have to do it from us. I just gave you, we don't actually offer this service, but when we did years ago, this is roughly what a company would probably charge you. But Grant actually has a marketing team internal, and it's not going to cost him anything of this. It's just going to cost him his labor hours. And I showed him how to do the Chat GPT. Silo SEO campaign, I would tell you only when you're starting to make money, maybe is this worth it, because this is going to take 6 to 9 months to get moving anyways, because it's going to feel like you're just throwing money out the door with SEO for the first 3 months. And
I mean, is there a reason, Chris, knowing that it's that far away, that you want to do that from the beginning? If someone has those $675 a month,
that's a fantastic question, and the answer is yes. And the reason why is
yes for what side of it? Yes to wait, or yes to do it from the beginning?
I would only do it after I'm talking to enough people where I'm starting to see the needle move personally. Like, I don't think, kind of imagine like you just started business tomorrow and you need 10 leads. To dump $700 out, it doesn't really make sense. Now you're different. You have an operating business already. So it is an investment right off the bat, but it converts higher. I mean, it's not even close. It's 3 to 4 times what it is over here on this side. It's just not going to affect. I mean, if we're talking September, or I'm sorry, August right now, we're talking about really affecting your March and April. You know, social media posting, man, you know, as much as like old white guy me does not love social media posting, if you create, I would say with social media posting, there's a guy called Springer. I don't know if anybody here knows of him.
Jerry?
Springer's
alive?
Springer's detailing. He pretty much almost completely 100% gets all his traffic from social media.
Wow.
And he does a fantastic job where he does not sell anything on his social media. He just talks about what they're doing and more or less how it happens. And I would say potentially there's a decent amount of detailers that are watching this, not his actual consumers, if I'm being honest. And, you know, Kevin is really good on that kind of stuff, especially understanding if this is telling people what works and what not. But he does a fantastic job. I mean, he's got 40,000 followers. You know, if you have 10,000 that are advocates for your business in the area, he's not selling anything this whole time. He's just making entertainment really around his business.
If I were Grant, I would focus on UGC, reviews, customer spotlight, like at least 3 days a week or whatever number you pick.
What's UGC, Kev?
User generated content. So every customer that leaves your shop should be doing a video review for you right then. Have them walk around the shop. You have video guys on staff, right?
Yep.
They need to be getting that reaction for B-roll. They need to be B-rolling the reaction and overlaying the customer review right there.
I have an idea. Thank you.
And all it has to do is
I've been waiting to know what to do with this room. Now it's a great idea.
It's all iPhone based. Is like,
yep.
Hey, you could literally take your brother and before you show the reveal, be like, hey, do you mind if we get your reaction to how this looks when it's done? Sure. And then step him out to show him. Because you have a reveal room, don't you, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, so I got some ideas. That's a little walk now. Send me the bill.
Chris, it's funny while he's doing this, but I was talking to one of my other product guys, a friend of mine, and he actually tested. He has a professional video guy that came in and was shooting pro level videos, and then they did a bunch of iPhone videos that were more UGC looking, and they performed like 4x as well.
Yeah. So Kevin brought up the best thing ever is like overproduction is not what's wanted for social media UGC for sure. Right? Just get like those real world, like in front of you reactions. So,
all right, you ready for this?
Yeah, let's go on this grand tour.
Okay, so honestly, I need people to come in. I built a bar out, so we need people to sit and wait. You get free beer, you get free liquor. Okay, anyway, so
that's fantastic.
This is what happens when you have staff. This is
we give up bottles of rum too with our logos on it. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so I've been wanting to know what to do with this room forever. We have this room that's blank here. Like we just have it, and it's as you're walking through, right? So you go through the front office into our wall of cars, the product room. We have this room here. We're going to set this up to be the video room where every client that comes through as they're walking in, we get their reaction here, and then that brings them into the delivery bay.
Oh,
yeah, that's why. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Guys,
just don't let your video guys overproduce it. It's got to look raw. It's got to look super low key, like you just happen to have your iPhone out when the guy sees his car.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's what we'll do is standing there with like some background to it, and then they'll actually walk in and they'll follow him with the camera at the end.
But you can use that for customer spotlights for your email nurture things and all that. Like, and the more you spotlight these customers, the more they'll tell their friends and say, "Hey, share this with your friends," and then they'll share it out. Like it's basically free. I mean, it's so easy.
Yeah, and I would say at this stage too is there's a couple events. I just threw an idea, like 3-day tint event. But I know a common one that people use in the tint industry is if it rains, I'm 20% off a tint that day and that day only. If you book that day with money in, it does not qualify. If it rains today and then you call tomorrow, you have to call the day it rains. They call it like a tint special. I've seen that one numerous times because apparently detailing and ceramic and PPF doesn't do so hot when it snows or rains, from what I've heard. So
I never had that issue.
Never had that issue.
I'm in the top right.
So realistically, I drew out kind of XXX, but on average, we're kind of guesstimating that right around, if you're spending around $4,800 to $5,000 a month, somewhere in there, you're probably looking at a revenue growth of around $52,000 to $58,000.
Exactly where we need to be.
So that's roughly where you should be, kind of more or less.
Dude, that's 10x. Ironically, the spend is a 10x return.
Yeah,
to the revenue,
and it's not easy.
No, it's a high profitability department too. So I wouldn't be spending that if it was in PPF or coatings because the cost of labor, obviously materials, everything else that goes with it. But window tint is an extremely highly profitable item that you can knock a $300 car out in 45 minutes. So spending, is it a lot of money? Yeah. $600,000 or 60 G's to get 600 back though. Sure.
Put that in all day long. Man.
Yeah. Knowing that I have to, I still have to do the numbers behind it, knowing that we have 3 labor forces, 1 being a salesperson and then two being the actual techs that are doing the job. But it off the bat, even if you're making 25% margins off that after you're paying the ads out, it still makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I would say thank you for coming on because to me, you are a great business owner because you're already thinking 3 steps ahead versus the guy that I talked to today that's freaking out because of tomorrow. And today is that, if you don't know where to start, talk to the ad guys or contact us. We'll get you in touch with ad guys. We will never sell you a website or SEO if we don't think it's a fit. I'm just being honest. That's just how the company here is built. But I can get you access to ad people. We want this. This was a perfect scenario to tell people what they could be doing and what's realistic to spend on and what they can pull on. You can't do everything, but we're hoping with something like this, people can kind of transfer their mindset from a technician of I'm screwed to I'm a business owner. I'm going to solve this problem. And I will say this time and time again, Grant, I really appreciate your time because you really came and said, "Hey, I'm not screwed. I don't have leads tomorrow for tint." You said, "Hey, I need to develop something to get this shop moving." You kind of really came at it with a great mindset right off the bat. So
thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
And I love the fact that Grant, who is a coach, consultant, all this stuff, and yet is able to come on here and say, look, I don't know everything. I'm not doing everything I can be doing with my business, but I'm learning and I'm adding these things. I will say too that Grant has the ability to spend $5,000 a month, right? Not everybody does. And so if you're listening to this, don't dismiss what Chris just taught you. Because if you look at that list, there's a lot of things on there that are costing nothing but time. And I think I brought this up at the last live that we did. And I talked to you, Chris, that I'm off of social media from a personal standpoint completely. It's 100% business. When I got my iPhone report on my, it gives you like your screen use and all that. 11 hours. I say, what would you say if I gave you 11 hours back a week? And keep in mind that those hours, because of what it does to your brain, is actually probably more like 30 or 40 for me. I'm more creative. I have more time. I can think more clearly. I'm literally rewiring my brain. So the guys that are calling Chris saying I'm slow, and Chris should be saying, well, what are you spending your time on? If you don't have any money, you've definitely got time. So what are you spending that time on? Yeah, like, because you can do email marketing, you could do social media posting, you can shoot videos with your iPhone. All of this stuff is freaking free. So stop whining, get off social media, and go to work.
Unless social media is where you get sales.
No, well, that's what I do. Right. So what I do is I go to business.facebook.com and I go to my business page. Or with Chris tags, if somebody tags me in something, I'll go check that tag. But that's it. I'm not on any groups. I don't do it because you know what these guys are spending their time on? All of the detailing groups arguing about whether or not Grant is better looking than me. That's like the hot topic of conversation.
We already know the answer.
We already know that he is. We already know that he is younger, stronger, fitter.
That's paying on. You're so much sexier. Look at those lips.
If I find out I look like a potato again on this, that means I'm only doing a live stream from work going forward. So
didn't you run a new line? You are a little pixelated, but I want to explain something to people watching. Go watch the actual high def video that I will upload in like a week.
Yeah.
Live videos are notoriously difficult, especially when we're streaming on 3 other platforms at the same time. So stop whining about it. If you don't like it, just wait and watch it 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Can I say one more thing before we head up? I think it's going to hit pretty hard. Is that based off this conversation, not just this one, but all the ones that we've had, I've never said that I'm going to do any of these. Whenever you're running a business, if you're a true entrepreneur, at least want to be the head honcho, you bring the ideas, just like the E-Myth really puts it out. You got to be a master delegator. I'm not going to do any of this stuff. I'm not going to answer any of the calls. I'll hire the people and I'll make sure that the money's there at the end of the month or at the end of biweekly to make sure that they're paid. But even before I had the ability to spend $5-6 grand a month, I was taking the risk that was needed to get the company to where it is today. When I didn't have the money, I figured out a way to get it because I knew of how important all this stuff is and everything that we've done to today. But you got to be a master delegator. I'm not installing the tent, taking the calls, trying to do SEO, trying to answer all the website, trying to do all the updates, trying to take the photos, doing those customer videos. I have a team that I've built to do that for me, which is awesome. We got a great team here. A team
which took you how long, by the way? 8 years?
No, I started the business in 2018, so we're up 6 years now. Yeah.
6 years.
2015,
okay.
Yeah, the first couple of years was a side gig, yeah, but full time. And then to get to where I was fully delegated was 3 years in, where everything was fully delegated. Now it's just been growth.
That's freaking awesome. Yeah,
it's been awesome. But those first couple of years was full on risk. I mean, I didn't take a dime out of this company. I put it all back in. to get to where we are today. But you got to be a master delegator. There's not one thing that you guys haven't talked about here that I already am thinking about. Who's going to be the person to do this for me? Mm-hmm. Not just for me, but for all of us here. It's going to affect the 22 people that are working here every single day. This extra revenue growth and potential profitability growth, and bringing the extra 3,000 customers in a year that are going to expand and talk about our business, be cheerleaders for us. Like this is a massive opportunity for everybody here, not just myself. So if there's one thing to take away from this, is it's overwhelming even for me, but I'm already thinking about who can I provide that's fucking loves to do this stuff. Who can I call tomorrow that's going to take this and run with it completely? And I already got kind of my list, which is pretty cool. And I'm going to spend time in there.
Ad guys are going to reach out to you.
I don't know. I think we all talked a little shit on the ad guys. They might need a couple of
Listen, I will say this, is that the ads will get those eyeballs that you don't have.
The tint's going to work. I hope so. I mean, there's a lot of tint guys. I mean, one of the guys, what you're saying, spends $50,000 a month on ads. Obviously, it works to some degree. We'll see if it works here. I'll give it a test. I'll run it. I don't care.
Dude, it worked a hell of a lot better before iOS 14. I'll tell you right now.
See?
I miss those days. But no, even Chris's Google ad example was an 8x ROAS, right? Return on ad spend.
Yeah.
Dude, if I said every time you give me $1, I'll give you 8, what would you do? You would give me every dime possible.
And this is why I take every person I talk to off ads, because of this reason specifically. 1 of 8 in a market in a department that's making you 15-20%, not worth it.
No.
1 of 8 in a department that's making you 40-50%, 100% worth it.
Right.
That's the biggest difference. Most detail shops are running on like 7-12% margins. So you're giving that money away to ads. That's
first of all, figure out why you're making 7-12% margin. That's the first thing you need to do.
Because you guys are watching Detailers Roadmaps videos. That's simple. All you gotta do is fun.
Turn it the detailing Disneyland episode 6. Grant Menard. So Grant Menard has been on this podcast almost as much as I have.
I think he has. I think he's definitely got me beat. That's for sure.
He does, actually.
Yeah. Detailers Roadmap /XXX. You'll really get the good videos.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Well, we should probably wrap it up. And how do we? I'll let Kevin wrap it up. It's his show. I want to know how to get a hold of Grant and where he's from and all that stuff. Yeah,
I want to do this kind of like the videos that we've done with the other businesses, where I'm going to take all this stuff with your recommendations, and we'll get the people in play, and probably I got 60 days to figure this out before I got to hire the person. And then Christmas of this year, end of year, even Thanksgiving, we can jump back on and see, and I'll make sure that we have data behind it and see where it's going. I'll be the monkey for all this and say, here's what here's what we got to go. And then we'll just do 3 to 6 month follow-ups on where we're at. I have all the data thanks to you're able to showcase where we're going to be at and what's being driven on the tint side of it. I'll hire that guy. Screw it. I'll give him all the money just for this. If I go broke, Chris, you hiring, buddy? Oh. And then, well, let's do that. Let's follow up. Let's do a follow up every 3 to 6, every 3 months, and then see exactly where it's tracking. We'll get all the analytics behind it, see what's working.
Is that camera? We'll do nude New Year.
Yes,
as our 3-month follow up.
100%. In our new video bay that we're going to build in there.
And the new video bay that will not ever have a black light in it. I don't suggest that.
It won't. But Chris goes in the hot tub every night, so I might have to throw that video up there. Or that picture.
There you go. Hey, so
wouldn't have said that.
If you're watching this video either live or online, we do kick-ass websites and SEO. And one of the things that Chris was talking about with those little squares with the numbers that were red in the outside, we have this cool thing called Google Accelerator, and completely change. That's that local SEO thing. So give us a little clicky click to detailersroadmap.com. Use that demo button at the top right. Be able to talk to Patrick, the man with the mustache, beautiful mustache that he has. Hey, gentlemen, thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much, Grant. Chris has something else to offer before we go.
Grant, where do we, if people were interested in, because I know you do some consulting for businesses, not just on obviously the marketing side, but you have a whole kind of entrepreneurial spirit of where you got to, because your business is multi 7-figure. Do you want to just kind of give, how do people get a hold of you as well?
Yeah, powermovesconsulting.com. You can check it out there. We're all over social media as well. Menard Premium Detailing to check out the detailing business. You'reable.com. Go look at all the Your Stories that we've done too, and all the cool stories of all the businesses that are a couple businesses that we've been able to go out and see. Definitely check out You're Able too. Without that company, I mean, my business, I can tell you that today, not just because I work with them, but because it's true. There's a reason I've been with them since 2018, and the reason my business is where it's at today. So definitely check out You're Able as well. But all the videos, everything that we've done online, and just kind of go out there, and all the videos that we've done together, it's pretty incredible. But that's kind of the areas to check me out at.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Or show up at the local Honda Element exhibit, and I'll be there buying
Oh my God.
elements that roll
Jesus.
back 300,000 miles.
I need to send you some trim renew for those things.
Terrible.
There's so much crappy black cladding on those things.
That's why I need window tint to explode so I can make back the money I just wasted.
There we go. All right, guys, we'll be back in a couple of weeks, I think. What is the 6th? Yeah, we'll be back in a couple of weeks, and then we'll just keep going. Head over to detailersroadmap.com and get your one-stop success solution today.